I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, yeah. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious. I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life.
What up, everyone? It's your boy, Mr. 35. I'm here and I'm back at it again. I'd like to welcome everyone on. We have an amazing show today. Today I have a long snapper. Yes, a long snapper supposed to join the show. He haven't made it in on Zoom yet. So we're waiting for him to come in. At the same time, I like to give my prediction. My prediction on the playoff this week. Okay. I like Steph Curry and I like let's see. And I like what he presents for as his ball skills but Curry, I've been liking him since days. I'm rolling with the Warriors in 6. But I said this, mark my word, if it goes to a game 7, people, if it goes to a game 7, Boston will win. Warriors don't have the legs for it. These young guys got some serious legs. They got some serious backdrop on them, and they're hungry. I mean, this Boston Celtics team has been on the come up. You hear what I'm saying? They've been on the come up. So, yes, it's been great for as what a lot of people think. You know, a lot of people don't want the Warriors to win. Me, I don't want the Celtics to win. I don't like the Celtics. I like the players, but I don't like the Celtics. They sketch it to me. They sketch it to me. So I'm rolling with the Warriors. I want the Warriors to win. I want Steph Curry to get another ring. And I want people to stop hating on the man because he's 6'3". He got mad skill. He's a 40% three-point shooter. And Big Perk, KP, said within the arc, he is the most prolific scorer in the game ever. Out of big men and whatever, power forward centers, Steph Curry has more field goal percentage up there than some of the greats. Akeem, Abdul, all these cats, Marlon, Carl, the mailman, yes. So I'm picking not the Celtics. Lord have mercy. Forgive me. I'm picking the Golden State Warriors. Okay. Golden State Warriors. That's who I'm picking. That's who I'm rolling with. I know a lot of people don't like it. They may not like it. But frankly, I don't really care. You know, I don't really care. So again, hopefully my guy come on because that was my opening statement. And I got a lot more where that came from. 2, this guy is a long snapper, as I said. His name is Mr. John. I'm finna text him because I'm supposed to ask him when he come on. Ooh. So he having a problem getting on. Let me see. Forgive me, people. What is going on? All right. My guy said he can't get on. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Let's see. How do I invite? Copy link. Obviously I messed up for this man. I asked him to forgive me. Okay, this is very unprofessional. There we go. All right, I sent him another link so that he can get on to my San Francisco 49ers. People have been talking about them, about my boy Trey Lance. Everyone knows that I am a San Francisco 49er fan. Die hard. I'm a diehard fan. So in the end, I hope Trey Lance come out to be that man. He is that dude, Lord and Savior. Hopefully, I believe. I don't know. I can't say I don't know, but it's whatever. Again, our guy just jumped in the room. Let me introduce you the long snapper on the series, Mr. John Jack. What's up, Jack? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
How about yourself, man? Hey, I appreciate you doing this for me, man. I really do appreciate you coming on the show. Never talked to a long snapper before, man.
Yeah, we don't go on many shows. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not biased. You know what I'm saying? I am not biased. So, Mr. Jack, what you doing right now, my man? Yeah.
Chilling.
How was the vacate? Last time I texted you, was on vacate.
Yeah. It was my 20th birthday. Me and my mom went to Cabo together. So that was fun. That was like the first time I've had time off in forever. When I'm at home, usually I'm just snapping and working out. So it was nice to have a week of like stress-free, not worried about football.
Dude, that's awesome. So, all right, for everyone in my audience, this is long snapper, Mr. 4-star, the man, 27 in the country, in the nation. Let me get that right, in the nation. So my boy is good. So he's gonna tell us about long snapping. But first, let's get a little history off of him. So tell us about a little bit about yourself, Jack. Like where high school you come from, where you come from. How about that?
So I'm from the Hershey-Harrisburg area. I went to a small high school, Palmyra High School. I've been playing football since I was 6. So I've been at it for a long, long time. Obviously, I wasn't long snapping that entire time. I started long snapping when I was 10 years old, I think. It was just one of those things where, like, when you're a kid, not everyone knows, you don't know what position you're going to play. So, like, first week of practice, they just send you in a circuit, send you to different drills. It was our first year of doing special teams because in midgets, you're just doing the, 10 plays, then 10 plays, John. So, we were going through the circuit, and I just had a knack for long snapping. But I was also the quarterback growing up, and I was playing linebacker and everything. So I never really focused on it until I reached high school. Sophomore year, I was just trying to kind of find a way to get on the field. So I was like, all right, let me lock in. Let me take long snapping seriously a little bit. And I realized I was better than your normal long snapper. And it still wasn't my priority. My priority at the time was D end. But I was like, okay, I took the job from a senior who had been long snapping 3 years. So I was like, maybe I am pretty good at this. Maybe I should take it a little more seriously. And over time, gradually got more and more serious about my snapping. Started going to camps. Started with a training camp in Baltimore. Like actually learned how to snap other than just like being self-taught and hearing from like regular midget football coaches who don't actually know like what they're teaching you. They're just out there because their kid plays. So
Right.
yeah, that was my first experience. That was a sophomore year going into junior year. So that was the spring of my sophomore year when I went to my first camp. Then I didn't have the money or like time or anything to go to as many camps as a lot of these other kids. A lot of the other kids that you'll see are ranked as snappers are prep school kids or private school kids that they're snapper exclusives. All they do is long snap. I could not do that in high school. I was a captain on my high school team, so I couldn't fathom just doing long snapping. Now that's all I do in college, but at the time that was ridiculous to me. I'm like, this is high school football. Play both ways, never leave the field. So those kids were like all serious about it, and I was like, oh crap, like this I can't just play around. I really gotta take this like every day. So then I went to another camp, the National Scholarship Camp in Tennessee. This is my junior year, and I ended up charting top 20 in the country. I think if I went to more camps, I probably would have ended up a 5-star. I think I have the talent to be top 10 in my class. And then I got my stars from there, got my ranking. My junior year, I was still focused. Like I still, in my mind, wanted to be a D end in college. I ended up breaking my collarbone. I'd never missed a practice, never missed a game before that. Broke my collarbone junior year in a scrimmage the week before the first game, and had to get surgery. I was a two-way starter, had to get surgery and missed the whole year. And that's when I really started to reevaluate like what my future in football is. I don't have the size to play D end at a Division I level. I'm like 6'1.5", I'm 225 now. At the time I was like 180. I had pass rush moves. I was out there like just winging it, hoping like I was fast enough to beat people. So then I was like, yeah, I'm good enough to be a Division II D end, but do I just want to settle for that? So then I started looking at colleges for lawn snapping, and I didn't have the grades. Did like a lot of my other friends in JUCO. I think I'm smart enough to be valedictorian at my high school. Like I was just one of those kids. I created bad habits. I was in 6th grade. Like we were struggling financially. My parents got a divorce and stuff. And I wasn't even, my mindset at the time was completely different. I wasn't even like focused on other stuff. I was just like, oh, my parents aren't on my case. They're focused on other things. Like my mom's like working all the time. They're busy with all the stuff they have to do at the moment. I'm like, I'm just not going to worry about school. I can get away with not worrying about terrible little kid like mindset that carried over to high school, graduated with bad grades. And now I have a 3.0 in college, but I wasn't a qualifier out of high school. And I remember telling my friends before Lackawanna ever heard about me, I was telling them that's where I was going. I was like, yeah, I'm playing at Lackawanna at the next level. Lackawanna didn't know I existed. I was just like, I know I don't have the grades.
You just telling the field, right?
Yeah, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. I was going to make it happen.
It worked out fine. Look at you.
Yeah.
Lackawanna. Hey, look, I have never heard of this college until you, Nugget, a lot of more cats. I mean, y'all have pumped out some NFL and some collegiate D1 prospects, man. I'm talking about like, gosh, what are y'all doing over there? I mean, what is going on at your college, man?
We fly under the radar because we're in the Northeast. Nobody thinks of the Northeast when they think of JUCO. They think Mississippi, Kansas, Texas, and since like it's really us and Monroe and a few other colleges in the Northeast, people don't really give us the recognition. They kind of write us off. But I mean, we're playing the tough schedule every year, and we're still ending up ranked. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think one, it helps being in the Northeast because like all the kids from PA, Jersey, like they look at us as the option, Maryland, Virginia.
Yeah.
So like we have a wider recruiting base, but also it's like, I don't know. We just have a culture about it. It's the lack life. It's the
I
lack
know
life.
that's that. You know, that's what they
Yeah.
said. The lag life.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, what are you talking about? I'm like, that's some slang for something. You're like, man, you just gotta be.
You just
there.
gotta, yeah, you gotta be there to know. I mean, like, I think it's this way at a lot of JUCOs, but especially at Lackawanna, it's just like we all live in one dorm together. Nobody lives outside of that dorm. It's just football players. It's like, I don't know, there's a different brotherhood, a different bonds we get there. So
Right.
I don't think you can get that at many other schools. So when we go into a game, it's like you're really riding out there with your family. I don't think other JUCOs can match like the camaraderie we have. That's why we win so many games, put out so many
Yeah.
players.
Dude, y'all, man, you guys. So let me ask you this. So who is the athlete in your family? So who got you into football, Jack? So you say you've been playing since a kid. So who got you
Yeah.
into football?
So I have an older brother who he was a good football player throughout high school and everything. He's successful in business now. He sells cars. So he never pursued football outside of after high school, but he started when he was 7 years old. So like immediately, I was 5 years old at the time. I'm going to all his practices because my dad's coaching. So I'm around youth football when I'm like 4 or 5 years old. So immediately, like my falls are football. I can't comprehend a fall without football. That doesn't make sense to me. That's all I've ever known. So
Right.
when it was like I'm eligible to sign up when I was 6 years old, it wasn't even really a question. I don't remember telling my dad I want to play football. It was just a known thing. Like he didn't have to ask. We knew what was up. So my dad was coaching. He always coached my brother for football and me for baseball. And baseball, I'd say, was probably my best sport growing up. But I had to stop because of grades. My dad made me. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's man.
Oh,
if I had my stuff in order back in high school, which I think that's the story for a lot of JUCO guys. Like,
yeah.
man, if only we had our stuff in order. That baseball, I always my dream growing up was to be a Phillies player. I wanted to play second base for the Phillies. So like I was just always around sports and football, baseball, basketball. I was doing basketball and wrestling my whole childhood. So I was hopping in the car after wrestling practice and immediately going to basketball practice as we're starting stretches. Like there was just, we were a family that was into sports. There wasn't a time where I can ever remember not being in a sport.
Man, that is crazy. Dude, that is some juice right there. That is some juice. Thank you for dropping the ball. So I'm gonna read a statement from a former player and let me know if this is true. They said, and we're gonna talk about the position, long snapper. He said, a long snapper is a valuable and often unappreciated player on the football team. Some fans don't care about who snaps the ball 7 to 15 times, 7 to 15 yards. But they will remember you if you mess up, and they'll never forget you when you make the big hit. You say you play linebacker, so you got mostly first shot at the punter. I mean, kick return, and all that stuff. So based off that statement, how would you explain a long snapper to some of the young guys who's watching the show?
Yeah, I led my conference in sacks my senior year of high school. So I'm like at heart, I'm still a football player. Like I just want to go out and lay the boom. Unfortunately, a lot of fair catches last year. Nothing more frustrating than you finally get a chance to run down, make a play, and someone's out there waving their arm. That gets me tight every time. But yeah, nobody really cares until we mess up, and then all of a sudden, because and I understand it. It's not like it's something that gets under my skin. We're expected to do our job. If a receiver drops a slant when he's open, like you're going to be mad at the receiver. It doesn't make sense. He's expected to make the play. I'm expected to make the snap. So I understand that aspect. And I like in the quote, he said important part of a football team, not important part on the football field, because I'm very big, like my mentality as a snapper, I'm very big on adding value where I can, because I know I can only do so much on the field. I can't go out there and score 3 touchdowns. I can't go out there and like get a sack. I can't make a pick, but I can come to the weight room every day and bring the energy. I can go to conditioning and bust my butt and try to work my other guys. Like I can make sure everyone's getting to class on time. I can help my friends, like if they need help before a test. So I'm very big on, like, since I can't be out there on the field making huge plays, try to make big plays off it, try to help my team any way I can, because especially in college and in JUCO, like that's something that's very important, just keeping people like with their eye on the goal. And lifting is a huge part of my life. So I always try to, especially in the weight room, like if I can outlift a linebacker, I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna let him know, and I'm gonna get up in his face, and I'm gonna yell at him until he outlifts me again. I'm not gonna let anyone like do less than they can. I'm gonna be vocal and try to get the energy, because that's like where I can find a place to add value.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about, a leader. Man, I would love Mississippi State. Do you hear this? You need players like this. Dude, Mississippi State sucked. Long snapper, he sucked. He absolutely sucked. And I swear, man, I mean, he cost us something in the game. I'm like, dude. Anyway, back to your
like get Stretch out there. Get Stretch out there.
Oh man, I just want, they need I don't know if anybody offer you yet, but somebody need to offer you. I mean, Mississippi State, we need all the help that we can get. I'm a big SEC.
I'd love to play under Mike Leach. So yeah, I think that'd be an interesting day in the office. Yeah.
Oh man, he's a wild dude. You seem like you got a little wild side to you too, Jack. Man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
One guy said that long snapper are the wildest characters on the football team.
Yeah. You got to be a little crazy, and you got to also know how to lighten the mood a little, because you're hanging out with kickers and punters all day who are absolute head cases, just nut jobs, like in their own head, crazy. So you need to know how to like bring the energy, so they're not just like down in. Kickers are so moody, man. Don't even get me started on them. Every kicker ever, they're like, they can have a bad day and it's like the world's ending. The sky's falling all of a sudden. So you got to know how to like bring that energy and just be a wild man.
Oh my goodness. I can only imagine. Imagine. So let me ask you this. And there was a question from one of the viewers. In wintertime and rainy weather, how do you handle the ball?
It's first of all, you pray and you hope that the ball is going to be all right. But other than that, really just have your hands in the pants on the sideline. Try to warm yourself up. Just be like as warm as possible. It's JUCO. It's not like we have heated benches on the sideline. Like huddle up with your guys. We played a game in Nassau last season where the wind was like 30, 40 miles per hour. It was pouring. We actually had to go in like 3 minutes before half for a rain delay. It was the coldest game. If you go back and watch the game, you will see like it was probably about 20 of us huddled up on the sideline trying to warm each other up. Like we play some freezing games, especially up north in Scranton. Like we had a practice this year. It was snowing. It was April 27th and it was snowing. So like you really got to find any way to warm yourself up. And then the football, I've never had a huge problem. I know a lot of snappers who like, I think this might come from not being a snapper exclusive in high school, like playing both ways in high school. I don't psych myself out as much when it comes to the feel of the football. Like some snappers, because that's all they do, they like really care if the football is like slightly deflated, slightly inflated, if it's a little bit of rain. The only thing that'll bother me is if there's turf on the ball, but I just knock it off and then I'm good. Like some snappers get so emotional over that. I'm like, dude, just throw it. I don't think about it enough, so it doesn't affect me enough.
Right. So let me ask you this. Here's another question from someone. Do you prefer punts or kicks? Extra point field goals. Which is the hardest? Is what they're asking.
I'd say punt is the hardest to master, but then when you master punt, extra point becomes harder because extra point is really, you're just taking out the lower half of punt. So it's like you, as a long snapper, you're not going to rep short snaps as much as you do long snaps because long snaps, there's just more moving parts. And then a short snap, you're isolating the top half of the motion. So in a long snap, preferably your legs will fire back with your hips. Your hips will fire back. Your chest will push through your legs as your arms, your elbows will go from folded. You'll pull the ball off the ground. As you're moving your hands through, you fold your elbows and then you snap through. That's where the velocity comes from. The short snap is mostly just that arm movement and a little bit of chest. You get rid of the legs, so it's easier to master at first, but then you become so used to firing the legs through and putting it all together that I think sometimes the short snap is harder because you're not firing and doing that motion all together like you become so accustomed to. But I'd still rather short snap all game. I never want to be out there for a punt. I tell all my friends my job is to never be on the field. Like if I'm out there snapping at 14 yards, we're doing something wrong.
Oh my goodness.
I tell my teammates all the time before games, I'm like, I want no film from this game. I don't want to be able to put this on my huddle. Like we should be out there scoring every drive. Don't let me get out there for punt. Like, because my mentality is still just let's win a game. I'm all about winning. I'm one of those guys that like would cry after every loss in high school, which sucked because my high school wasn't great anyway. But like I'm just all about winning. So I tell my friends, like, I'll get my film. Just go out there and score. I don't want to be out there for punt.
Man, that show that you care, man. You know, a lot of little kids don't understand that. Like, I'm a sore loser. And I can understand where you coming from, man. I can sincerely understand where you coming from. So I'll play this little game. So we're gonna quick fire some stuff. Your favorite game system, PlayStation or Xbox?
My favorite of all time was the PS3.
PS3.
But now I'm more of a PlayStation guy still because Spider-Man. I love playing the Spider-Man game. They don't have that on Xbox.
That's good. So, what is your favorite food that you like to eat before the game?
Before the game,
you gotta have. Do you have like a little tradition, a little something like that before the game?
I prefer to eat as little as possible on game day. The night before high school, we always had pasta dinners. As a team, we would have them in the cafeteria of our school after a Thursday practice. But COVID shut that down my senior season. So we'd host the guys at my house for pasta dinner. My mom would cook for the whole team. So then that pasta dinner the night before, and then the day of, I get too jittery, man. I'm one of those guys, like, I sweat like crazy before the game. Like I get really amped up for the game. So I don't like putting anything in my stomach. I eat minimal, like a granola bar or like an Uncrustable.
So after the game, you ready to smash?
Yeah. After the game, anything in sight, that's going down.
Oh my goodness. I can relate to that. So another question, what music, you already say you get hyped, but do you listen to any music before you get on the field or something like that?
Yeah. Trap House 3 by Gucci Mane. Trap House 3 is on loop.
Well, like you, man.
It's on loop every game day.
Every game day. That's what's up.
That's what gets me amped up. And then right before the game, when I want to like this, I don't have to do it as much now that I just long snap. But in high school, I was getting into a really crazy mindset. Like I was getting into like some dark places. So then I would throw on like a movie scene that would make me like start to tear up, and something that would like get me like all those emotions really flowing. And then right after that, I would play No Church in the Wild by Kanye and Jay-Z. And that beginning where it's starting to build and like the vocals from Frank Ocean come in, like that gets me really like in a bad place. I don't want to be in a good place when I'm going on the field. I want to be like mentally like just frustrated and upset.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Hey,
That was my routine.
Else, man. You something
Yeah.
else. So you don't have any sisters or nothing like that, right?
I have a younger sister.
All right. This is the question that I always ask guys. I like, it cannot be the water boy, and it can't be your kicker. Who, if she was old enough, who on your team would you allow your sister to date?
Oh, oh my word.
An honorable guy
rip.
on your team, yeah.
Off rip, I'm ruling out my roommate. I'm sorry, Jay Wright. It's not happening. That could never happen. Colby Young is up there. You might have seen him on Twitter. He's been getting a lot of traction lately. He's a good guy I would trust. Probably my man Avanti Lockhart. He's a Hampton commit. Because he's just quiet. He doesn't say enough for me to be concerned. And like he's my man's too. He'll spend like 4 hours in my room and say 5 words. So he just be chilling. But that also makes me worry a little bit, like what's going on in his head. But probably Avanti Lockhart.
Okay, Devontae Lockhart. We gonna have to. You might have to have him on the show and talk about you.
Definitely not Jay Wright or Miles Mitchell. I'm gonna send them this, and that those two off limits.
Okay,
love them, but no.
So here's another one. So you got a brother, your mom, your dad, your sister, right? What position on the field would you put them if you were starting a football team? It could be defense, offense, and special team. So what position would each one of them play?
My sister would probably be like an X receiver. She's pretty tall. She's 16. She's like 5'8". So she'd be on the outside. My he's holding down left tackle for me. He's like 6'3", 230 something. We don't have enough big guys, but he's the biggest. My mom, I could violate and throw her on the line, but I'm not. She's in good shape. I could, but I love my mom too much. So she gonna be in the slot. She's in really good shape. So she's like our shifty slot receiver. And then my brother's playing running back because he played a little bit of that in middle school. He was a corner in high school. So if we were on the defensive side of the ball, I know he's gonna lock it down in zone. He doesn't have the foot speed for man. We're running the zone, and he's gonna be like Trey Diggs out there. He had like 9 interceptions his senior year.
Now you know when he see this, he's gonna like, Jack, you have to put me out like that. You have to put me out like that.
I tell him all the time, he's my older brother, but I'm the big brother. So he can't come to me with any nonsense.
No, okay. I feel you. So Jack, so who do you patent your long snapping at? Because I've done some research, and there's some all pro long snappers out there, dude. I'm talking about you can make pretty decent money being a long snapper, man. So who you patent? Do you patent your game after anybody like that?
There's no one I really model my game after, but there's a lot of guys that I looked up to. Like as a kid, my favorite Eagle was always John Dorenbos. Like when I was 8 years, he was with the Eagles for nearly. I'm a huge Eagles fan. We've been season ticket holders my whole life, so I always would go to games and just make a point of watching him. He was an Eagles snapper for like a decade, and he was one of those guys like that I think found value off the field as well. He would do NFL teams always do like those locker room interviews with the players and stuff, and he was the one who did that for the Eagles. Like you could tell he was well liked by the team. So I enjoyed that. And then Luke Rhodes, he's the all-pro snapper for the Colts right now. He played high school ball in PA. He's from the area. I actually played his old high school team, Hollidaysburg, back in my senior year. So just seeing someone from this area be an all-pro is pretty inspiring. And then just the guys I've worked with at camps. I've had the privilege of working with a lot of NFL snappers, like Nick Sundberg. He was with the Washington football team for a while, or Washington Commanders, and then their current snapper Cheeseman. He was at the last training camp I was at, and then my coach at Coles, Coach Casey Casper. He's he's the one. A couple months back, I switched my grip from middle finger to index finger, which for someone who's not snapping may not seem like a huge deal, but that completely changed my snapping. And it's to not like go too much in depth, but basically with a middle finger snap, as your hands grow over time, you kind of crowd one area of the ball and you leave all this open space. So switching to an index finger spread my hands more evenly on the ball. So like I hadn't realized that I had kind of grown out of the middle finger, and I moved on to the index finger, and that like worked wonders for me. So Coach Casper's done a lot for me with snapping over the years.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So rounding this off home, Jack. So what is a quote or something that no matter what, you can just lean on, like something your mom may have said a long time ago, or your dad or your brother, some quote that's inspirational to Jack. Like, if I say this, it'll keep me going.
Mm-hmm.
What is
it sounds like almost narcissistic to say, but it's just something I came up with on my own that really is what like gets me going. I just always tell myself the walls will come down. The old Bible story, just about, I forget what's the walls of Jericho. And God came and told them, march around the walls for, I forget, however many days and nights. And eventually the walls will come down. And they had the faith to trust in him that the walls are going to come down. So they did so, and they marched. And eventually those walls came down. So even though like if something just seems not fruitful at the moment, if it seems as if it's not going to work or things aren't happening in your favor, you just got to keep marching. The walls are going to come down.
Dude, I like that.
I like that. That's what I always tell myself every time.
Will come down.
Yeah, just being in JUCO and like, especially as a long snapper, you get offered later in the process a lot of times. So I've received interest from like countless schools, but they just wait and wait and wait when it comes to long snappers, because they like filling out the rest of their class before they get to snappers. So it's like, I just got to keep reminding myself, just got to keep marching. The walls are going to come down.
Man, that is awesome, Jack. I knew, boys. And I was going to ask you that. So have you received any, you don't have to say the schools or nothing like that, because you know, confidentiality, but what are you looking for in a school that you may commit to?
First of all, I just want to be wanted by the school. I don't want to like commit somewhere where they're wishy-washy on me. If I'm committing to them, I want them to be committing to me as well. So I'm not asking a school for a scholarship or anything. I'll take a PWO to go to a place I like. Also, I'm not against leaving Pennsylvania. Obviously I grew up a fan of all Philly teams. I grew up a Penn State fan growing up because I grew up in Central PA. That's what everyone does. But I'm not against going somewhere new, because I feel like I've met a lot of people in Central PA that I keep meeting, whether they're different people with different names. I feel like a lot of my life I've spent a lot of time around the same type of people, and I just want to throughout college get the experience of meeting new people, new cultures, learning more about different groups of people. So I'm not against like going somewhere completely away from where I currently call home. So those are like the things I think I don't know, I'm looking for in a school, somewhere where I can get a unique experience and somewhere where I'm wanted. So like I've gotten a lot of interest from schools that fit that criteria. I'm just
Yeah.
waiting for that offer to come in. It's camp season, so we'll see what happens.
Stark Vegas, Mississippi State. Get on the phone, son. I know you, Coach Leach. I know you watch my show. I know you do. Hit him up.
Hey,
You know we need one.
I'd
Hey,
love Mississippi State. I'd love to be a Bulldog.
There you go. There you go, Coach. You hear that? Stark Vegas ain't nothing like it, though. Ain't nothing like it.
That's what they say. That's what they say. That's what every SEC fan base, they always say, ain't nothing like it.
Ain't nothing like the cowbell, son. Nothing like Stark Vegas. That's why they call it Vegas. Stark Vegas. Because it's, boy, don't let me get in that. But they got some good eating, man. They got some good eating down there.
Yeah, I can't. Every time I go south, I'm like, why don't we have barbecue up north? Like, we don't have any barbecue joints in PA. We have a chain Mission barbecue, nothing else. And then every time I go south, I'm like, bro, this is my favorite type of food. Why can't I find it anywhere?
You get fat down there.
Or a place. Yeah. The fast food's better than everything too. I need a place with cookout. College kid, we'd save so much money if we had cookouts in Scranton.
Oh, dude. Cookout ain't nothing, dude. You go to Mississippi State, let me tell you this. The mud riding, the cookout, the tailgating, boy, ooh, dude. And then you gotta go to Louisiana.
It'd be a good time. My friend is at LSU now. He punts there. They always say it's a great time there.
Yeah, LSU, wow, especially game night when they play Bama. Woo.
That's one of the things when I went to I usually go to NFL games more than college games. When I went to see Penn State versus Ball State last year, it wasn't like a huge game. It was like a noon kickoff or something. But just walking out and seeing the crowd, just looking out at like a sea of people, because even at an Eagles game, it's 67,000. Seeing like 80 to 90,000 people, I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is something else. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling you, man. So, rounding it out, what advice will you give young guys or young Jack? Just say young Jack if you can talk to him. What advice will you give that cat?
I'd tell him, start doing your homework. You're being an idiot. Like, stop just relying on doing well on tests. Start doing your work. I'd also, I don't know. I'd just tell him, lock in. Like, you only get a certain amount of time to do that. And I tell him, like, find your why. Because I feel like in the past couple of years, I've really found my why I enjoy football, why I want to continue it, why I want to. I remember my senior night for my high school football career. For future plans, I didn't have any career put there or anything. What I was majoring, all I put in my future plans was play football as long as possible. And like that still holds true because I have my why and I know like this is for me. So I just tell my younger self, like, continue to find that and lock in on it and don't focus on anything else.
That's what's up. So what advice will you give like younger guy? I know he's watching. This little knucklehead. I ain't gonna say his name, but he watched. And he's a little troublemaker. What advice will you give those troublemakers? My nephew, get on troublemakers. What advice would you give those troublemakers? Like, I wouldn't say troublemaker, but he just, like you said, he ain't appreciating. He just got this athletic ability, but he's not appreciating what's going on around him. It's gonna catch up with. So what would you tell somebody like that?
I'd say you're a product of your environment, so surround yourself with people who are. You don't want to surround yourself with like-minded people. You don't want to have an echo chamber, but surround yourself with people similarly motivated who have similar goals. I think that was one thing I found in JUCO. I surround myself. Shout out to my guys, Keno Arrington, Jay Wright, Miles Mitchell. Like we're in the gym together every day. and all we do is just talk. We just fantasize about making it to the next level and like continuing to work hard. Like that was something that really changed me, was finding people with the same drive and intensity. And all we do is we just raise the bar for each other every day. So that's the biggest thing. Surround yourself with the right people. You might want to find like the cool kids in school. You might want to be with the popular kids. Just find the people that are for you.
Nice. Sound advice from a sound young man. Hey, take it from the long snapper, man.
Yeah, man. Always listen to the long snapper.
Hey, I mean, dude, you dropped some knowledge today, man. It was, I mean, I could not fathom about what long snappers go through, man. And man, your stories, I think this is you have one of my top 5 best stories, man. I swear to you, man. What you have told me, that's Jack, man. I wasn't expecting this. I mean, it touched my heart. I could play a movie with this stuff that you're telling me, man. I mean, dude, I appreciate it. Any shout out to anyone, how they can find you, how they can follow you. I mean, you know, that's all yours.
Yeah. JJ Stretch 15 on Instagram and TikTok. I need to start posting on TikTok more. I always post like funny football stuff. If you ever want to see some videos of what it's like living in like a JUCO dorm, you can find that on TikTok. John Stretch II on Twitter. That's the IIs for John Stretch II. So it's two I's. I post my long snapping videos, recruiting stuff. So if you're ever interested to see where I'm visiting, what camps I'm at, who offers me, you can find me there on Twitter.
Okay.
And you can just follow Lackawanna football next season. We're going for that natty, going back.
Okay. There you go. You hear that? And I will put his link in the description after the show, so y'all can go find that for me. Man, John, I appreciate your time. Hey, tell some of your guys if they want to come on, easily DM me. I will schedule them right on the spot.
I definitely will. I got some guys that would be fun to have on the show for you. So I'll let them know.
Okay, let them know. I'm always open to a scheduling, and I get it, man. Jack, I ain't gonna even lie, dude. You are my top best story, and I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Hearing your story, it's motivating, man. It's motivating. Dude, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, everyone. That is Jack, Mr. John Jack the second. 2 eyes.
Second.
2 eyes. Remember that. Everyone, we appreciate Jack coming on the show. Thank you, Jack. I'm gonna have to watch some Lackawanna football just to see you out there.
Yeah, tune in. You'll see a lot of talent, a lot of guys you haven't heard about yet that are going to be on the next level. So tune into the Lack.
I'm gonna be watching. I will be watching.
That's what we like to hear.
All right, peace out, Jack.
All right, thank you. Peace out.
You're welcome. Everyone, that was amazing. That was an amazing show. Never in my life would I have thought that would have come from a long snapper. Talking about a guy who's focused, a guy who's dedicated, a guy who just he's a football player. He is a dog. Coach prime time. I mean, Dion, you want a while, got tough, fast, disciplined, with character. Smart, tough, fast, disciplined, with character. Coach Prime, Mike Leach, where y'all at? Get this man to Mississippi some kind of way. I don't want, I Lane Kiffin, you can call him too, I'm not gonna say too much or nothing about Ole Miss, but call him, man. Alcorn, Mississippi Valley. Grambling, Alabama, A&M, Texas Southern. This guy is legit. That's a football player. 6'something", 225 in the weight room, outlifting dude. And he played linebacker and quarterback in high school. The kid is good. That was a good interview. And I like him. So the quote of the day is from my man, Mr. Jack Stretch John. It is, keep marching, the walls will come down. That means have faith, no matter how bad things may seem, no matter how hard things may go by. Keep marching, the wall will come down. Again, everyone, I do appreciate you guys coming on the show. And the last thing I have to say, and what I always say, is play me my theme music.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad,
Yeah.
baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't